James Tim Norman, the star of the OWN network reality series Welcome to Sweetie Pies, was arrested on federal charges for his alleged involvement in a murder-for-hire plot that resulted in the death of his nephew, Andre Montgomery. Tim was arrested by FBI agents on Tuesday in Jackson, Mississippi on charges of conspiracy to use interstate commerce facilities in the commission of a murder-for-hire resulting in Andre's death, according to a statement released by the FBI's Jackson office. Now, an affidavit filed August 11th states Tim is accused of conspiring with Terica Ellis of Memphis, Tennessee. Terica also faces one count of conspiracy. I will link the entire affidavit down below in the description box so you can read it in its entirety. Alright, so federal authorities allege that in 2014, Tim obtained a $450,000 life insurance policy on a then 18-year-old Andre. Tim was the sole beneficiary. Now, on the reality show, it was painted that Andre needed guidance and structure, hence why he began living with Robbie, Tim's mother and the owner of Sweetie Pies.
I tell you what, we are all so proud of you. You did it. I knew you could do it.
I'm just glad that I got the opportunity to graduate. Because
Me
I know
too.
if I was still in Texas, I probably wouldn't graduate.
So why you think you wouldn't have graduated had you stayed home?
Because one, only time I would have got help with schoolwork would have been, right, we had a game coming up. And for two, the people there, I don't know, I guess I would have been fighting, got kicked out of school plenty of times. I'm not sure where I'll be without grandma's help, but I know I wouldn't be graduating high school. I want to thank you for helping me, letting me stay in and move in with you and keep me out on the street.
I'm your grandmother. I was glad to do it because you kind of kept me company. My biggest hope for him was to graduate from high school, and he did his best to do that.
This is a huge graduation.
Andre, Lawan, Montgomery.
When he got on stage and got that diploma, I felt like I got it.
Look out, world. I'm coming through.
Turn up.
Now, and I find it quite interesting that Tim allegedly used Andre's shortcomings as a way to cash in, right? So rather than have faith in Andre that he'd be a productive member of society, he instead decided to go the stereotypical route, Black youth killed in the inner city. Now, as for Terica, she is a 36-year-old dancer who resides in Memphis. She's a mother of two daughters, I want to say a 17-year-old and a toddler, definitely under the age of 5. The Instagram handle that is mentioned in the affidavit has been changed and her account is now private. Now, prior to this story breaking, Terica's Instagram page was public and she was still following Tim. You can see that right here. So I don't know if she's out on bond or bail or someone has her account information, like her account login, but they have now private the page. So per the feds, Terica was in contact with Andre via email and told Andre that she was planning to be in St. Louis on March 13, 2016. Tim flew into St. Louis from his Los Angeles home on that same day, March 13, 2016. Tim and Terica spoke to each other on March 14 using burner phones activated that same day and kept each other aware of Andre's whereabouts. At approximately 8:02 p.m., Andre was shot dead at 3964 Natural Bridge Avenue in St. Louis after receiving a phone call to come outside. What's really eerie about this is this neighborhood where Andre was killed is where tragedy has hit for the family several times.
I drove my mom through the park to the spot where Andre lost his life because I had not been there yet. I don't think Mom had been there either. You know, we're still in the same street basically as my grandmother's house, Natural Bridge. So you can see Grandma's house right from here.
Uh-huh. Natural Bridge is the main street that goes from one end of the city to the next. Everything happens on Natural Bridge. All the crime, all the fast racing. This is it.
Yeah, that's it.
They say he came out and used the phone, so they had to shoot him right here on this porch.
We've lost a lot of family members here on this street. Andre, as of late, and then before Andre, my father. And in between that was Linda's son, Monique's brother, Aaron, who was like my brother. And it's all on this one street, a few blocks from each other. Right across from Grandma's.
Yeah, that's the sad thing about it.
Since Andre's passing, I haven't gone through this part of the city. And really, I've been avoiding it.
I mean, it's like all up and down the street.
Yeah.
We must stop killing, but there's just signs. Oh, okay, I'm ready to go. I'm getting sick to my stomach just seeing this place.
We get back in the car, I take it 2 lights down the street, just 2 lights, to the spot where my dad got killed.
Somebody walked up right beside him and put the gun right to his head, right there, and killed him in the car. This is the first time I've been here since your dad got killed. I ain't never even came back here.
My mom and dad were crazy in love with each other. They were supposed to get married. She was only 2 months pregnant with me when my dad got killed. So when I drive past the spot, I wonder, how would my life have been different if my father hadn't stopped to get a sandwich that day? Some old guys told me that the person that killed my dad was actually sitting inside the car with my dad.
He might have, because he was right there. I looked behind his ear, because when they told me where he was shot at.
You went and identified his body too? My dad?
Uh-huh. And Aaron's body, too. I went with them to identify.
Aaron got killed a few blocks up the street.
Yep. Okay, love, all these memories.
It hasn't been good for our family, as far as the men are concerned. I mean, you look at it, me and Charles and now TJ, we always left.
I'm kind of glad you're gone, for your own safety.
I just wish y'all would come with me and Charles out there.
We go up about 3 more blocks, and that's where my nephew Aaron lost his life. Yeah, I think they was right in here somewhere.
Yeah. It's like my second or first year in prison, and I got a message when I got back to my cell, and they said, call home. I've been out playing basketball, and I got back, and they told me to call home. And I got on the payphone, called Mom, and then that's when you called me, you said, Aaron, I thought you was gonna tell me Aaron got locked up. But she said, no, he's dead. And I never expected that, I didn't. I mean, I was my brother, he was my cousin, but really, he was my brother. That was like one of the hardest moments for me being in prison, because I was away. And I wondered, if I had been there, I felt guilty for being in jail, not being there with him. And you told me he was dead.
Killed him and his friend.
That crushed me.
Killed both of them together right here. The young men today, they're just killing each other. My concern is, are we gonna have another generation? Because these kids are killing each other before they have kids. Andre, my grandson, he was the last Montgomery.
All right, so according to the court docs, Terica was close to the murder scene as per her phone location information. So the phone towers, her phone was pinging off on the phone towers in the area where Andre was killed. She allegedly fled the scene with another co-conspirator who has yet to be identified. And soon after, Terica called Tim and then left for Memphis, Tennessee. And not just that, but police also have found that Terica deposited over $9,000 in cash into various bank accounts in the days following the murder. One of her bank accounts were said to be in the red prior to the killing, right? So in the court docs, in the affidavit, which you can click the link below to read in its entirety, in the affidavit it states she had about -$4,000 and some change in her bank account. And now, after the murder, her account is in the green. 1 week later, Tim is said to have contacted the life insurance company in an attempt to collect on the policy he obtained on Andre. But he was unsuccessful because he didn't have proper documentation. So 4 years on, Tim has yet and he will never now receive the $450,000 that he had hoped he would receive. There's never really ever a reason to murder someone. And in this case, Tim was ready to throw away his entire livelihood to dispose of his family member for $450K, and he didn't even receive the money. So the murder was for nothing, right? Allegedly. Let's say allegedly here. So Robbie and the entire family have always suspected Andre was familiar with his killer.
Andre is like one of the beats in my heart, and it's gone. It's gone, and we can't get him back. We tried to give him a better life, and he lost his life here. But we could have closure if somebody would tell who did this to Andre. They set him up. It was somebody he knew because he got a phone call, and he went outside, and when he got outside, they shot him. He wouldn't have gone outside for a stranger. So we pray every night for the police to find the people that did this to Andre. So I want to thank you all for coming out, and ask that you all keep us in your prayers, and especially Andre's family that's here from Texas that came up for this, and pray that they go back home safe, and pray for closure for our family for this.
So who would have thought that the alleged killer would be his uncle, Tim? Stunned. Shocking. Stunned. Couldn't believe it. I was just flabbergasted that Tim allegedly conspired and was willing to end his family's life. That's insane to me. But anyway, apparently Andre's close friends and loved ones had an inclination that Tim was involved, considering how Tim attended the funeral. Those in attendance said Tim came with bodyguards and he was wearing a bulletproof vest. One of Andre's friends applauded the arrest, writing, quote, when it was him when he showed up to the funeral with bodyguards, and bitch told him that night. Also, Andre's relatives, his two sisters, are also excited for the arrest and did have some inclination as well. One sister wrote the following, quote, "Punk ass, we already knew it." Another sister wrote, "Dre finally got his justice. After 4 years of not knowing, my baby boy can finally rest. I love you, Bubba. This your world forever and always. Hashtag Dre's world." The 4-year anniversary of Andre's death passed on March, and his mother mourned him on Facebook, writing that she misses him so much and he's always on her mind. The cast of Sweetie Pies have remained quiet on Tim's arrest. However, Tim's ex-girlfriend, Jennifer Williams, dropped her 2 cents, writing, "Karma will get you one way or another. The truth will reveal itself." Now, if you don't know about Jennifer and Tim's relationship, that was showcased on the reality series as well, Sweetie Pies. And the contention of their relationship, at least on the series, was that Tim was a workaholic and he didn't really set much time out for Jennifer or their relationship. And their relationship ended on a sour note, with Jennifer accusing Tim of stalking her, which some people on social media didn't believe. In a sense, Tim's arrest is vindication for Jennifer, who has always maintained Tim is a menace. Now, Jennifer also offered her condolences to the family on Twitter. The Montgomery family has always longed for justice, and they will more than likely receive it because the feds do not lose and have an above 95% conviction rate. Now, Tim, he has a criminal history. He did 10 years in prison for armed robbery, and it was essentially the motivation for Robbie to open up Sweetie Pies, right? Because when her music career ended abruptly due to some type of illness, she decided what else can she do? She loved cooking, and she started Sweetie Pies. And that was a way where Tim could be secure in his future because, as we know, those with a felony past, it's difficult to obtain employment. So here she was setting up the stage for Tim, a legacy for him, right? So he'd be able to sustain himself and not have to worry about other people hiring him. And unfortunately, Tim more than likely will be going back into prison, and more than likely for the rest of his life. Again, these are all allegations, but as I said earlier, when the feds bring a case against you, more than likely it's a wrap. And just because the feds do not lose. It'd be interesting to see how long Terica will get. Will she decide to talk and say who that co-conspirator is that drove away with her back to Memphis? We'll see. Okay, so I want to hear your thoughts on this. Drop that down in the comments and let's talk about this. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. Until the next one, bye.